Welcome to USA Green Card Approved, your trusted guide to U.S. immigration success. Looking to get a U.S. green card? Whether you're applying through family, work, as an international student, a religious worker, or as a victim of abuse under VAWA, we share clear information, real stories, and step-by-step help made for you. We simplify the process and equip you with information approval of your green card. Subscribe now. Your journey starts here.
Welcome to my channel, NIW Approved, a channel that provides you with information for your immigration transformation. Welcome, guys. My name is Gertrude Onuoha. I am an immigration attorney and I service clients within and outside the United States. And we provide a lot of green card solutions. Today is an amazing day, and I'm very excited to announce the approval of EB-2 green card for our engineering clients, specifically a geologist. And so today I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be giving you tips if you're like working in a similar case, or maybe you are in the engineering field. Even if you are not even in the engineering field, just as an expert, I'm sure you can gain one or two things from our strategy, and I hope that helps you with your EB-2 or EB-1 NIW green card journey. Guys, this thing is a journey. It's a journey. And if you're having anybody who is interested in getting this information, please talk to them, have them come in, and at the end of the process, I will definitely like to take questions and answer any concern or any question that you may have regarding the process. So I'm going to share my short slide just to guide us in the process. So first thing I want to say about this slide is that about this information is that this is once again just information that we're giving out. So if you need specifics about your particular case, feel free to give me a call my office, and we're able to take on your case. You can go to my website go-attorney.com, and there you can schedule a consultation about your specific case. Guys, let me tell you something. I've been doing this for a while. There are no two cases are ever the same. That's something I just want you to know. When it comes to the world of NIW, no two cases are ever the same. Even though they are in the same field, they've attended the same school, they are on the same employment. I'm telling you, the cases are always different because people's backgrounds are different, people's experiences are different. And never shortchange yourself. Never feel that, oh, I want to copy somebody. You always have to check inward, look at what you have, and then come up with your own specific plan. So this client contacted me. I think she had attended my seminar, which I host every month. I host seminars for international students, researchers, professionals, or people in the community, and we give them free information about the green card process. So I think she met me in one of those situations, contacted my office and told me about her story. She scheduled a consultation and we reviewed her case. And can I just tell you something, guys? This same individual had contacted another law firm or another attorney, and they declined her. They refused to take her case for whatever reason. But when she came to me, I looked at her case. She's in the geological field, and as a geoscientist, we looked at her achievements, we looked at her background, we looked at her skills, and of course, what she was doing currently. At the time, she was a PhD student, and she had already obtained her first degree with some work experience, and also she had gotten her master's. So it was that master's that we used for the purpose of her eligibility. For the EB-2, you have to show number one, that this individual has a master's or a bachelor's or a PhD degree. Now, remember, guys, if you're going with the bachelor's degree, you must have 5 years of work experience. Okay, with the bachelor's degree, 5 years of work experience. If you don't have that, you can use your master's or your PhD. But whatever degree you choose to use, please note that if it's a foreign degree, it has to be evaluated. It has to be related to the work that you're coming to do. That's a no-brainer. And also, you want to make sure that your degree is something that it's completed. It's also a no-brainer, but a lot of people make the mistake, especially those that are doing it themselves. So you cannot present a PhD that is incomplete as the basis for your eligibility. Any degree that you're presenting as the basis of your eligibility has to be completed. You must present the evidence of that degree at the time when you're submitting the case. So in this instant case, we submitted a master's degree. And well, our talking point, if I can see clearly, was really focused on, her addressing critical challenges when it comes to energy exploration. She's somebody that's focused on, geochemical analysis and seismic interpretation. So, for example, if a company wants to maybe drill hydrocarbons, oil, gas, hydrocarbon gas, right? They have to at least check the rock formation. How is this place? Are we going to get maximum drilling and all that? I'm not the expert in the house, okay? So I'm not a geologist. However, her work is to be able to interpret, those rock formation. How good, how much oil do we have? How much hydrocarbons do we have here? So she does seismic interpretation. And this is very, very important when it comes to drilling. You don't just want to go to the back of your house and start drilling. Drilling is very expensive, very, very expensive. So you don't move to the back of your house and start drilling, right? If somebody says there's oil here, there has to be a basis. Those experts, they're able to tell if truly there's oil here. They interpret the rock formation, the ground formation, how is the topography of the area and all that. Because if that interpretation is not done, we won't be able to set up our drilling. We don't get to drill. And then if we don't drill, we don't make money. Okay. So her work is so important to the national interest of the United States when it comes to, determining it, when it comes to drilling and energy solutions. So those are some of the arguments we presented. Then moving forward, um, we also looked at her qualifications and achievement. And these are things we do during the consultations, right? So for example, like I talked about, she was currently doing her third degree. So, but we used the second degree because at the time the PhD was incomplete. And she had really served as president of like a group in school. She had awards, she had commendations, she had multiple certifications. And guys, when it comes to certification, that's something that you can work on quickly because a lot of institutions and different companies hosts, even free certifications. You can look for certifications in your field and really try to get certified in something that's related, because the more certifications you have, the more you're showing that you're an expert in that field. So this individual had so many certifications, and not only that, she also had membership in professional association. As a matter of fact, she had three that's related to her field. Okay, again, you always want your achievement, your evidence to be related to the talking point. Okay, so as a geologist, you are not going to just say, oh, I'm just a member of maybe a public health club or public health school or nutrition school, club or association, right? You want something that's related to the field. And then of course we also talked about critical projects. She had three significant critical projects in the field of geoscience, which is really, really important. because for the NIW, they're going to want to see your national interest waiver argument, which is number one, that what you're doing is of substantial merit and national importance. You also want to show that you're well positioned, and you also want to show as on the balance that it is in the interest of the United States to waive the labor certification. Now, in showing the second prong, which is that you are well positioned, they want you to have an in-depth argument. Guys, this thing is not just the three arguments. Those three arguments for the NIW national interest waiver, they are good, but you have to go in depth. So for the second prong, one of the things you want to show is that, hey, I've been doing this for a while. I'm not just coming as a novice, right? You're showing that I've done projects like this before. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Because, I mean, let's think about it. If somebody says, I'm a doctor, I specialize in maybe in the cure of cancer, right? And they're coming here to work. You want to find out, have you ever done something like this before? Because what makes you an expert is that you've done something like this before. So, like her showing prior critical project, very, very important. Very, very important, because the government wants to see that you've done prior successful work. You've done something like this in the past. So we were able to show three critical projects in her field. Also, we were also able to show publications and presentation. And for this particular client, I still remember she had done something for the states. So it was a federal project, something that the particular state in this instant case, which I cannot mention at this time, actually was interested in finding out if they had hydrocarbons in that state. So she was one of the individuals who actually carried out that work. It was part of the critical project. Now, in doing that work, she went ahead and did a presentation and a publication, you know, in on that project that she carried out. So that was so amazing. So it was something that a state government is interested in. Come on. If the state government is interested in something, that is national. Okay? That is national in scope, because guess what? That knowledge for that state can be extrapolated and used in another state. And guess what? If that state eventually, I think in this case there was actually hydrocarbons, she found hydrocarbons. Now, if that state goes ahead to drill, ultimately it benefits the United States. Okay, it benefits the United States. So, I mean, anytime you're working on a federal funded project, trust me, it cannot get more national than that, because you are actually working on a national project. And remember, this is all about the national interest waiver. Okay, we're going to waive the requirements of a labor certification because you're already carrying out acts in the national interest of the United States. And my guess what? My client was actually doing, you know, work for a particular state, and we used it, and actually the case was approved. Now let's look again, and then another thing she had was 7 letters of recommendations. Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. And quite frankly, seven is a lot. A good spot would be anything between, I would say, like 5 to 7, or anywhere 4 to 7 is fine. And I think even in my office, we've used like 3. Listen, when it comes to letters of recommendations, there is no specific number under the law, right? In fact, I don't know that there's anywhere that says you must use a letter of recommendation. I don't see that in the statute or in the regulations. But guys, this is an important piece of evidence that will really strengthen your case. Letters of recommendation, expert letters, not just any letter, but expert letters. So in this case, she had 7, and I know she got one from overseas. She got from her professors here in the United States. See, you want a good spread, right? You want a good spread. If you can get independent persons who you've not worked with, but they know your work, right? They are not biased, they are objective, or people who have even cited your work. That would be nice. But again, most people don't have independent experts In other words, somebody who is out there, you don't know them, they are not really like biased. Most people have their supervisors, most people have their professors in school, and they have peers who have, worked with them, people they've worked together with. Please go ahead and use what you have. If you don't have an independent expert, then don't say because of that you're not gonna move forward with your case. If you have it, go ahead and use it. I mean, I've done tons of cases where we didn't even have an independent expert and the case was approved. Again, when it comes to the NIW, there's no one particular thing. I wouldn't say there's this one thing that made your case to be approved. It's a combination of things. It's a holistic evaluation of all your evidence, right? They're looking at all the evidence, and and based on that, they go ahead to approve. So in this case, we use 7. You don't have to use 7, but I think 7 is a good number. I've seen people who try to use almost more than like going to more than 12 or 13. Like, you don't have to do that. And I've also seen people who, like those who do it themselves. Okay, I have an example where a client had tried to do this themselves. And guess what? They were just repeating what A said in their letter is what B is going to say, and what C is going to say, and what D is going to say. Hey, that doesn't make sense. You can't just be regurgitating the same thing for each expert. That does not make sense. Okay? You want to have the different experts talk about different things. Okay, so pay attention to that. And another thing I want to say about experts is that experts are very good. I mean, you can use them even in explaining your proposed endeavor. You can use them when it comes to your explanation of the national interests of your work, how your work is going to benefit the national interests of the United States. You can use them in showing national importance. You can use an expert in showing that you're well positioned, and you can use an expert to show the third prong, which is that on the balance, your work is so important and it necessitates the waiving of the labor certification. And that can be shown in different ways. For example, you can show that the expert can explain that, look, this person's work is so unique, or that their qualification, their knowledge, their expertise is very unique. You see, that's one way you can use an expert. You can also use an expert to show shortage in the field. You can use an expert to show, hey, look, granted, there are Americans that are doing this work, but I want to tell you that this individual, his contribution surpasses those of those Americans in the same field as his. Therefore, you must waive the labor certification. Or you can even use this individual to say, look, there is urgency about this issue. For example, like when we're trying to get a cure for COVID-19, right? And maybe you're coming as a public health expert, right? So the expert that's recommending, you can say, hey, people have died. We need somebody to give us the solution to COVID-19, right? And if we're going to wait, more people are going to die. We're not going to wait for labor certification that could take more than a year, or about a year, or whatever number of days it's going to take. So this is how you use letters of recommendation. You could use it for any part of your case, you know. Wonderful. And let me just say something about experts. Please make sure you're using experts in your field. Don't just get your church pastor to write something. You know what? If you've been following me, I've spoken about the church pastor writing. You don't just go get your pastor who doesn't know anything about your field, or who is in a completely different field. I think where you could actually leverage or utilize your pastor's letter of recommendation could be if maybe you want to talk about leadership. Maybe in church, you're a leader, you've led a youth group, and you've led so well. You're trying to say, hey, so the pastor is pretty much saying that this guy has leadership skills, and he can extrapolate those skills to his professional field. That's how you use it. Don't just put something religious and that has no bearing to what the issue is at stake. So these are some of the things we talked about in the case, and yeah, let's move on. And then Wow, wow, wow. I'm so excited to talk about this part. So we started this journey. This journey started way before we submitted. Please get that straight. But just in terms of submission, submitted in February of 2023. And then um within about 2 months plus, we got the I-140 petition approved. And then green card was not available at the time. And then once the green card became available, we put in the green card application. And in January 23rd of 2025, wow, we got an approval of the green card and it has been shipped and delivered to the clients. Guys, that is what I call transformation. That is what I call Listen, it's all about the transformation. It's all about the transformation. Who is able to get you from point A to point B? Because the truth is this: you are an expert in biomedical science or in engineering or in the arts or in any aspect of life. You have a master's or a bachelor's or a PhD, and maybe you're an international student, you're getting stipend, right? And maybe they are funding your international career here as an international student. Maybe you're getting 1,500 or 2,000 a month. But you know that the day you get your green card, you will go to the job market and you will compete and you will be earning so much more. So that is what I call the transformation. So for this client now, she's almost rounding up her program, but right now she has a green card, and you can now apply for jobs. You can apply. It's all about the career transformation. So that's how we're able to get that case together, and I'm very happy that this individual is now a permanent resident of the United States. I love to talk about that. As a permanent resident, you can file for your unmarried children, 21 and under can immigrate with you. Also, as a permanent resident, you can travel in and out of the United States. Of course, you don't want to stay for too long or beyond 6 months. As a permanent resident, you don't have to be worried again. Am I going to be deported? But of course, you have to continue to do the right things. So, there's just so many benefits. And now you can go to the job market. You are no longer tied to any employer, and you can look for job. You can move to any states within the United States. Come on, there's so many benefits. Guys, if you're not sure about your case or you want to talk to me about your case, you can go to my website go-attorney.com and schedule an appointment. Now, if you have any questions on this case or any um thing you want to talk to me about related to immigration, of course, I'm happy to take your questions, and just take limited questions. And if you have any question on what I've talked about today, I would be very, very happy to answer your question. One question that has been reoccurring, I've been seeing a lot of people asking me this question, is how to which profession would most likely be approved, like which specialty. Guys, there is no, like, again, my answer to that will probably differ. The thing I always tell people is, it's not just about your profession, it's about what you have. You understand? It's about your credentials. What kind of credentials do you carry? Do you have achievements in your field? Do you have research that you have done? Have you presented this research to a group of experts? Have you reviewed other people's work? Have you been able to make a difference in the field? Do you have certifications? Do you have degrees? Because at the end of the day, you are presenting yourself as an expert. You are presenting yourself as somebody who is coming to solve a national problem. You can't come to solve a national problem and then you are not going to prove it. You have to show us that you have experience. You have the educational background for this. You have the experiential background for this. You've done something like this. You've collaborated with others. And in fact, there are some people who can talk about your work. You see it? So think about this NIW process, EB2. It really makes sense with regards to what the regulation is requesting. And you really want to make sure that you pay attention to what the requirements are. Number one, I'm going to repeat it. You must show that you have a degree or you're a person of exceptional ability. Number two, you have to show that your work is a national interest to the United States. So if you can fulfill those two things, then you should be a good candidate for the EB-2 NIW green card pathway. So if I don't have any further questions, okay, Samuel Adedeji, nice to see you all the way from New York. Okay, let's see what you've got. I want to ask that if I pay for consultation and it's discovered I'm not qualified for the NI, do I need to pay for another consultation again if I want to be re-evaluated? Okay, this is a very good question, Samuel. Very good question. So we definitely request that you pay a consultation because evaluating the case is something that takes time. We evaluate your evidence, we check to see what you have, we ask a lot of questions. Now, when you do a consultation with my firm, I can speak for myself, you will never have anything to lose. And I say this because one, if you meet the requirement, we can move forward with you. So that's a good thing. Even if you don't meet the requirement, right? We will tell you areas you need to work on. So that's a good thing. Now, if we tell you areas you need to work on, we say go work on these things, come back. So if you're coming back within a reasonable period of time, then you shouldn't have to pay for another consultation. But what if you are coming back 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, guys? If you're doing that such a long time, then I guess then we would definitely probably have to ask for another consultation fee. But again, you can always email, we work with you. If you don't need to pay, for the most part, you don't need to because you're still within that spectrum of what we evaluated, right? So if you're coming back like within 6 months or even 9 months, we can definitely not ask for another consultation. And even if you are coming back in another 2 years' time, shoot me an email. I mean, we can always bypass protocols and, have you evaluated without a charge. Look, at the end of the day, our goal is to bring about your transformation. It's all about your transformation. Okay, so don't worry about all that, Mr. Adedeji. I think you need to move forward. You shouldn't have too many fears. You know, guys, don't allow fears to hold you back. Do you understand? Don't be fearful. Look at the process. Speak with a professional. Honestly, even if you want to do this yourself, talk with a professional. That's I always advocate for that because the thing with EB-2 NIW is that it's a lot. It's a lot of documentary evidence. You don't want to go into that whole process not being sure, right? Or at least having this level of certainty that, okay, this is likely to sail through. You don't want to go there premature. You don't want to go there unprepared. Again, I've talked about this before where in the recent past, we just got an approval for a biophysicist. So he had come to me before we talked about his case. After evaluating his case, I felt that it was premature, and we asked him to go back to the drawing board and work on a few things. And once he was ready, he came back, worked on the case. Within a few months, he did premium processing, and the case was approved. So yeah, we'll definitely work with you, okay, Mr. DGG. Any other question? All right. In the absence of any further question, I will take my leave right now. I look forward to really working with you guys. And once again, congratulations to our client who was approved for the green card. We are happy for you and we wish you best of luck. And for those of you that are still out there trying to engage in this journey, hey, don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back. And even if, like in this instant case, this client was told by an attorney that she didn't qualify, even if you've been told that you don't qualify, listen, come to us. We will tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Even if you don't qualify, we'll tell you. If you qualify, we'll tell you. She was told she didn't qualify. She came to me, I looked at it, it looked good because I have that experience. We've done so many of these cases, so many, you know. And yeah, we're here to help you. Anyway, nice talking to you guys on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I look forward to seeing you again next week Saturday. Please take this video, share it, like it, subscribe. All of you, please, I ask that you subscribe. We're trying to get to the 1,000 mark subscription. So go ahead, subscribe, share it with your friends, share the information. I'm sure somebody can benefit from this information. And I'll see you guys next week, Saturday. God bless you. I hope you found valuable information today. At the Law Office of Gertrude Onuoha, we are committed to providing you with clear, useful information to help you on your immigration journey. But don't just take our word for it. Here's what some of our clients say.
It was a great experience working with the Law Office of Gertrude Onuoha. She supported me all through my journey of getting my green card and was available to answer my questions. I will surely recommend her.
I had the privilege of working with the Law Office of Gertrude Onuoha for my National Interest Waiver program, and I can't express enough gratitude for her exceptional services. Thanks to her expertise, dedication, and strategic guidance, my NIW was approved smoothly and efficiently. I highly recommend her.
I attended a Zoom conference hosted by attorney Gertrude Onuoha by chance. After hearing her detailed explanations and client testimonials, I consulted with her. Despite my uncommon research field, she and her team took the time to understand every detail. Thanks to their professionalism and thorough work, my EB-2 NIW application was successful. I highly recommend their services.